You're on the highway, moving fine, and then brake lights. Everything slams to a crawl. You inch forward for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, scanning the shoulder, waiting for it. The crash, the stalled truck, the police car, the cause. And then the road just opens. You're back to full speed. And there was nothing. No wreck, no breakdown, nothing at all. So what just happened? What stole 10 minutes from every single person on that road? With no cause anyone could see? The answer is genuinely strange. And once you understand it, you'll never sit in traffic the same way again. Because that jam wasn't a place, it was a wave you helped build. Here's the first thing to unlearn. You picture a traffic jam as a spot on the road, a clog you have to push through. It isn't. The jam is a wave, and the wave is moving. Every car in it is crawling slowly forward, but the jam itself is rolling backward, down the highway, against the flow of traffic, at about 12 miles an hour. Think about what that means. The place where you finally hit your brakes is not where the problem is. The problem happened minutes ago, maybe a mile ahead of you, and it has been traveling toward you the entire time. You didn't drive into a traffic jam. The traffic jam drove into you. In 2008, a team of Japanese physicists set out to prove this. They took 22 cars and spaced them evenly around a circular track, about 750 feet around. One instruction: drive at a steady 19 miles an hour. Just hold your speed and your spacing. No lanes to merge, no exits, no reason for anyone, ever, to stop. And for a little while, it worked. The ring flowed smoothly, then it didn't. One tiny wobble. A single driver drifting a hair too close and tapping the brake. And within minutes, out of a perfectly even ring of cars, a jam appeared. From nothing. Cars in one section ground to a complete stop while the rest kept rolling. And that frozen cluster began sliding backward around the track, exactly like a real highway. They had built a traffic jam with no cause. The cause was the cars themselves. So why does it happen? It comes down to two things every human driver does. First, you react slowly. Not slow for a person, but a fraction of a second is an eternity at highway speed. Second, when you brake, you overdo it. The car ahead slows a little, so you slow a little more, just to be safe. The driver behind sees your brake lights and slows a little more than that. Each car in the chain brakes a touch harder than the one in front of it. So a gentle lift of 1 foot, 10 cars ahead, becomes a dead stop by the time it reaches you. The slowdown doesn't fade out, it amplifies, and there's a tipping point. On an empty road, a wobble like that just smooths away. But pack enough cars onto the highway, past a certain density, and the math flips. Now every tiny fluctuation grows instead of shrinking. The traffic becomes unstable. And at that point, a jam isn't a risk. It's a guarantee. It's just waiting for one brake tap. This was strange enough that mathematicians got pulled in. A team at MIT modeled these phantom jams and found something wild. The equations that describe a traffic wave are almost identical to the equations that describe a detonation, an explosion. They even named the traffic version. They call it a jamaton. And like a blast wave, a jamaton has a sharp, violent front, the wall of brake lights you slam into, followed by a long, slow recovery as the road finally opens back up. The same kind of math that governs a shock wave tearing through the air governs the stop and go creeping down your morning commute. Which tells you something important. These jams are not caused by bad drivers or rubberneckers or that one person in the left lane. They are a fundamental property of what happens when too many things try to move together. They're built into the system. Now the good part. If the problem is overbraking, the fix is the opposite. Don't. In 2022, researchers ran the largest experiment of its kind on a real interstate outside Nashville. They dropped about 100 specially equipped cars into ordinary rush-hour traffic and had them do one simple thing: hold a smooth, steady speed on adaptive cruise control instead of stabbing the gas and the brake like the rest of us. The result was almost spooky. Those cars didn't just avoid making jams worse, they absorbed the waves. By refusing to slam the brakes, each one swallowed the slowdown rolling toward it and let the cars behind keep flowing. In some runs, a single steady car was enough to start smoothing the entire stream. And here's the part you can use tomorrow morning. You don't need a special car. If you stop tailgating, leave a real gap, and hold one steady speed instead of racing up and braking, you become one of those cars. You stop feeding the wave. You start dissolving it for everyone behind you. So the next time the highway freezes for no reason, you'll know the truth. There is no reason. Not the kind you keep looking for on the shoulder. You're sitting inside a wave, made of thousands of tiny human reactions, rolling backward through the cars, obeying the same math as an explosion. Nobody designed it. Everybody built it. And as more cars start driving themselves, holding steady speeds, never panicking, never overbraking, the phantom traffic jam may quietly become a thing of the past. A problem we created together, just by being human. Solved by teaching machines to do the one thing we can't: stay calm. Until then, leave a gap. You might just be the reason the road opens up.